Hare Krishna. The next topic which we are looking at is about spirituality. So, starting with the Google definition, spirituality is the quality of being concerned with a human spirit or soul as opposed to material or physical things. So, broadly speaking, there are two categories in the universe, one is matter and the other is spirit. For ages or centuries, there has been a debate among the various groups of intellectual class or philosophers and also among the religious practitioners about which came first. Is it the matter or the spirit? So this is similar to the chicken and the egg problem. So which came first? Is it the chicken or the egg? So the following is the conclusion by majority of the thinkers, which is matter is a lower form of energy and spirit is the higher form of energy. Especially because spirit has intelligence and it has emotions. Having emotions is definitely of superior nature. For example, even if man has, for example, created a very advanced robo or AI machine, but so far infusing emotions into the robo has not been successful because emotions belong to the spirit. That is what the nature of God is. Okay, we'll talk about more about this as we go forward. So this conclusion has been derived by the by everyone, the religious practitioners and spiritualists alike, based on their self-realization. So we spoke a lot about self-realization, what it means, realization of the self. So it's a very advanced stage of maturity, okay, where one knows the complete knowledge about the self and also the relationship between us and the creator. No, and also this conclusion could be based on the study of the various scriptures. No, they also give the scriptural references from the Vedas and other religious texts that the matter has been created by the Supreme God. God is spiritual in nature. So the spirit has the quality of spirit is it has got remarkable qualities and it is intelligent and it has got a connection with the divine or super soul who we call God. So this super soul or super consciousness, it's accepted as it's kind of a father, and the soul, Jivatma is a child. So it's a here we have a parent-child relationship because the father gives birth to the child, right? Parents give birth to the child, father and mother. So here God is considered like a parent. So combination of father and mother, or just a father or the mother. It depends on how one wishes to have the relationship with the God. But that's a different subject to discuss. But going forward, so there's a parent-child relationship between God and us, as most of us consider him as our creator and also our caretaker. So he's taking care of all our things we need. So hence it is a conclusion that from the super consciousness, which is super intelligent, everything has emanated. So because if you want to create something, we need a lot of intelligence and the power. So which the super consciousness we believe has all the resources. For hence matter has come from the super consciousness. But if we go to the scientist, you know, there's so many scientists, great scientists around the world. They do a lot of research, and some of them study the matter, some of them study the universe, the various aspects of the universe. So if we go and discuss with them, they will have a different perception. Uh, Probably the reason is that fundamentally, they haven't accepted the existence of God yet as a proven concept. Maybe uh, some of them may consider this as a hypothesis, probably. But for them, it is yet to be proven in the labs. Okay. Uh, Generally, the approach or methodology of the scientist is that first, they form a hypothesis. Then the hypothesis is accepted as a theory, but it's not proven yet. Theory has some written proofs, but to be not accepted as a principle or a law. So when the research, more detailed research is done and arguments are given with proof, you know, then the theory, some of the theories will be considered as principles or laws, and that principle or a law has a universal acceptance, and it holds good in any part of the world. For example, the Newton's laws of motion, or so many other scientists have created different laws and principles. So the way the scientists work is they need to have the facts, the inputs, and the raw materials in the lab for them to conduct the various experiments in order to prove their theories. So following which they may write some research paper on the same topic. So such a method or a concept, may not be applicable to prove the existence of the spirit, soul, or God in the uh, labs, right? The labs, we haven't, they haven't, or we haven't been able to prove it in the lab. But there is a way in which we can convince the scientist about the existence of God, for example, through the inference logic. For example, we can give the example of an electric bulb which glows with the help of electricity. And how does it glow? Someone switches on the puts on the switch, and what happens then? The alternating current, it flows through the wire, and the electrons start flowing through the bulb, and it glows. So there are different technologies. The bulb has been evolving. Earlier we used to have the tungsten-based bulbs. Now we have the LED bulbs, which is more popular. So no matter whichever technology it is, but it is electricity is there, common, it's accepted fact, and it flows through the wire. It flows through the part of the bulb, and the bulb glows. So scientists prove that. Hence, the electrons are existing in the wire. They flow through the wire, even though the uh, electrons or the subatomic particles smaller than the electron atoms, and very small in nature, and obviously we cannot see with our human eyes. But you know uh, we can give an analogy in a similar manner. No, we cannot see God with our eyes. God is like the electron, so the current which is flowing, the energy which is flowing everywhere. The bulb analogy is the sun rises. For example, we can give the example of the sun which rises in the east exactly at the predicted time. The moon revolves around the earth at a precise speed, and the earth also revolves around the sun at a precise speed, and based on which we calculate the days and months and years. So all the calculations are so precise. Separate subject is their astrology, right? The universe itself is running like a clock or clockwork, very precise. All the movements of the stars and galaxies, but yet nobody is able to see God, the existence of God, right? It's all happening on its own, right? It looks like everything is running on its own. But this is the analogy we can use to infer the existence of God, that the rising of the sun at the precise time is like the electric bulb, hence uh, God exists. So we cannot see him just like we cannot see the electrons. But we may not be able to prove the existence of God or soul in the lab as per the scientist expectation, but there are other ways and means where we can convince them, right? So a lot of debates going on in the various universities, at a very intellectual level between the thinkers and spiritualists and the scientists. So a lot of discussions are happening. For example, there's a Bhaktivedanta Institute which is formed by Prabhupada in Harvard University. so at MIT. So a lot of discussions keep happening on a scientific level, and very advanced kind of debates happen to prove the existence of God. So there are different classes of devotees. They are the most of us fall under the normal class where we are. We depend on simple devotion. We go to the temple or a mosque or a church, and we offer our simple prayers, belief, simple belief. That's enough actually. God loves variety, so He has created different classes of men. So there are people at a very advanced intellectual level who wishes to have very scientific intellectual debates. So that goes on in the world. So different kinds of people are there in the world. Uh, okay, so there are different kinds of devotees or spiritualists who experience the existence of God through the self-realization. You know, some devotees or followers, may have observed, uh, for example, some incidents happen in their life or events for which they may not have an explanation, right? So they may call it miracles. While others who have not experienced such incidents, when they hear others say that, oh, such and such thing happened in my life, so they may think this person is bragging or this person is telling lies. It's very hard to believe because the default understanding is the universe is running in a particular way, and we feel that there is nobody running it. So it's very hard to believe that suddenly something which is untoward or inexplainable thing happens in somebody's life. But nevertheless, we believe that God exists, and He can change the default behavior of the universe or events as per His free will. So God has a free will, right? So even the Jivatma has a free will. So everyone has a free will because we are a very minute Ishvara. We are a small template or a clone of God. So we also have a free will. The God is created as per his image. So uh, He may choose to perform miracles for His own happiness and happiness of His followers. Let's say there are five sons of God, of a father. First four sons are not that much devoted to the father. They just mind their own business. But the fifth son is very much devoted to the father. He does a lot of service. So father may be impartial to all of them, all the five sons, because all of them are his children. But he has an extra love and affection towards the fifth son because the fifth child is actually showing a special love and affection towards his father. So similarly, God is impartial to all of us because all of us are his children, but he has a special attention. He gives a special attention and uh, protection and love and devotion towards those people, his children, who try to establish a forgotten relationship with their father, with the Supreme Father. So those, we spoke about self-realization. So with their one's experience, they can feel the presence of or existence of God, and all the transcendentalists they conclude this in various ways. So there are three categories of transcendentalists we have spoken earlier. So the three categories are the Jnani, the Yogi, and the Bhakta. So the Jnani is involved in the deep but meticulous study of the various things in the world, and he tries to infer or accumulate knowledge. And based on this knowledge, he creates, he uh, filters out or generates the metadata or the intelligence from this data what he has collected, and through this intelligence, he wishes to realize God. Whereas the this is also elaborated in the Bhagavad Gita that Jnana Yoga, one of the process of yoga, which is based on accumulating knowledge, is one of the ways of authentic ways of attaining God. Uh, the We'll continue the next lecture about the Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So let me stop here. Jai Sri Krishna.